Proprioception is that constant feedback loop that gives our brain the ability to know where our body is in space through the feedback from our muscles, from our joints, from our tendons and ligaments. Now, ultimately, we want to have clear proprioceptive maps of our body, whereby each part of the body is delivering high quality stimulus to the brain at all times to help us know where our body is in space, to keep us safe. However, through poor movement habits, perhaps through injuries, through surgeries and so on, the feedback may be quite poor through particular body parts, and so we need to assess for that. And this encompasses our main physical assessment, and it's done primarily in an active manner. So, because when something is done actively, it gives us a direct insight into how the brain is coordinating that movement. But if it's done passively, it doesn't always offer or reflect how well the person can perform that movement actively. And so, of course, if someone's in a great deal of pain, we can offer other strategies here too to help assess for that. Now, looking at things through an IKN lens, we have to be able to assess this in a position that's fundamental to our movements as humans, which is gait. Now, gait or walking is our first mature response or interaction with the environment around us, and so it reflects how every sensory system was working together to gather all the necessary information to help us move well within our environment. So here you can see, can that individual access movements and positions in a gait-specific position? How are all the muscles accepting or absorbing load when you move into that particular position? And can your nervous system trust the information from the proprioceptive system and the proprioceptive system only, without the need for compensation through other systems, like the visual system perhaps, which is quite common? And the key here, and the key reason why we look at assessment through this lens, is because we don't need to be able to squat 300 pounds to move throughout the world in a pain-free manner, but we need to continue to gather optimal feedback from the proprioceptive system, as well as other systems, to ensure we're efficient with movement and ensure we can coordinate movement well without the need for, again, protective responses like pain, like stiffness, like tension. And this, in addition to other tests, really help us set a platform for where we need to direct our load with graded exposure, like we mentioned in the last video, and ask ourselves, do we need to do this in a specific position first, or do we need to isolate a specific system before we move into integration of other systems, or can we integrate it all together? And that's all kind of based on your initial assessment as well. So we can offer you a system that you can use to structure your graded exposure rehab using this multi-sensory template. And we can start by first isolating the proprioceptive system, engaging the body part only, and building safety where we can load that area well and take on more sensory and neural load on top of that during a progressive loading approach. And we can then challenge different planes of motion, which will be determined by what we find during the assessment as well. Because a solid assessment here is really key to add structure to our approach. And this is what we want to ensure we create before adding more progressive load. Right? We want to have structure. What do we do first, next and last? And from there, we can increase the challenge by engaging more sensory systems in a manner that mimics real-world movement, all while trying to improve movement control around that body part in question. Okay? So again, thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next video.